I think this is simply the best wine I've ever had.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
Are you aware you're not drinking Ukrainian's finest, but Republican red,
What?
made by real Republicans?
Why, you no good son of a bitch! You lied to me! You lied to me! You lied! Get off me, whore! You set me up! You set me up! You lied to me! You lied to me! As God is my witness! I will kill both of you! I will kill both of you! Get off me! Get off me! I will kill you! I will kill you! I will kill you, whore!
Are you ready to toast to the golden age of America? Go to RepublicanRed.com to support this generational family-run business dedicated to producing 100% American-made wine. Use promo code NORMAL at checkout.
I hope you enjoyed our little homage to Mr. Chris Farley. This is tonight's news. Pop star Katy Perry led an all-female crew aboard the Blue Origin space launch. Tragedy struck, however, after the pop star returned to Earth safely.
Coachella attendees went viral after sharing absurd concession prices, including one lady who said she spent $104 on 2 meals of tacos and a drink. Speaking of overpriced, unappetizing tacos, Lady Gaga also performed. Look at that.
Oh, my gracious.
Oof.
An Alaskan woman broke the Guinness World Record for largest mouth gape, measuring in at 2.98 inches. Take a look at that. If you're wondering how I found that online, it was accidentally.
Like a burger. I kind of have always known that I have a very tall mouth. As a little kid, I had 7 siblings, and as kids do, we used to put stuff in our mouths all the time. And it always confused me when people were like, oh, light bulbs are, don't put them in your mouth, they get stuck. But they never got stuck in my mouth. Regular Mandarin orange. And people look at that and they think, that's something that really exists. I wonder if I can do that.
All right. I bet she'd have a great career if she was pretty.
That's some talent.
I think she's
Anyway.
still finding things to put in her mouth.
Yeah, just random things. I know. I'm sure she makes a good living.
A very good living.
Real sword swallower. Welcome to Normal World. I'm Dave Landau. Sitting in for QB, who is at Coachella, is Derek Richards.
Thank you.
Ow, ow.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and you can see him April 17th through 19th at Snappers Comedy Club in Fort Myers, Florida, as well as the Zoo in St. Petersburg, Florida, April 23rd. He'll just be at the Zoo.
Just a zoo.
Snappers, like a turtle club, too.
Yes, April 24th
Yes, exactly.
through 26th, Snappers Comedy Club in Palm Harbor, Florida.
Exactly.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Angela, you know Angela from Angela Does Horror. How is Angela today?
She's good. She's
What-
great.
Thank you for talking in third person as
Wow.
we've agreed upon.
Well, I have to.
All right.
I mean, she has to.
There you go.
Sorry.
Contractually, get it right.
A long show. You keep messing that up.
I know.
You
She
can
knows.
see she got that. Why do we even do this? This weekend you can see me, of course, which I know you want to. in Arizona. I'm going to be in Glendale at a place called Stir Crazy. You can come and check that out. Also coming up, I will be in Florida at, what's the name of it? Jacksonville. Comedy Zone Jacksonville. Thank you. But with all that out of the way, and you should pick up my book, A Party of One, a Fuzzy Memoir. Forgot to hoard that in the beginning of the show. Please welcome, you can see him performing all over the place. Let's ask him about it. Please welcome Derek Cahill.
Thank you guys for having me. I also have this amazing book, Party of One.
Thank you.
It's great.
Thank you.
Book. Right here waiting.
I appreciate it. Where can we see you next, my friend?
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Ooh.
May 2nd and 3rd at the Wise Guys Comedy Arts District.
Ah.
It's going to be amazing.
I've heard it's a really great room.
It is a lot of fun. It's like a little kill box.
Yeah, that's really cool. Vegas?
Yeah, that one in the Arts District is great.
Yeah, it's where they put like the poor people comedians. I'm not famous enough for the main drag. They stick me over in the corner.
That's a great space over there, though.
No, dude, I loved it. They're one of the only clubs that had me like sign the headshot when I get in there. I was like, I fucking will be loyal to you guys for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's really all you need. Once your headshot's up, you have to go in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is the rule. Mm-hmm. It is the rule. Well, let's talk about it, guys. I know you've been interested. Katy Perry was one of 6 in an all-female crew that launched and landed safely on Monday morning aboard a rocket operated by Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin company. Other big names included journalist Gayle King and Bezos' fiancée, Lauren Sánchez. It was a successful all-girl mission. They practiced kissing, had a pillow fight, painted each other's nails with a marker, and once all their periods synchronized, they were brought back down to Earth, and when the rocket doors opened up, it looked like the elevator from The Shining, and they all poured out into safety. Yes, because we all know women don't belong in space. As cops... That's the wrong
I think that
page.
one crazy-haired lady is jealous that she wasn't on that
Oh,
that
you
aircraft.
know it.
The one that was up there for like 8 months.
Oh, for
I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Bring me back.
Yeah, they go on a tour that takes 20 minutes. That one's trying to figure out how to live off of toothpaste.
Could you imagine those 6 stuck up there for 8 months?
Oh, dude, it wouldn't work.
6 went up, 1 came back.
One would come
Katy
back.
Perry would just be like, oh.
Just enormous and covered in blood.
I just
I'm gonna
can't
give it
believe
to
that
Gayle
they fit
King.
anybody else in the capsule with Gayle King's teeth.
I ate a girl and I liked it.
Well, Katy Perry actually said she'll be writing a song about her space adventure, and I'm going to tell you what, 2016 couldn't be more excited. Russell Brand, also Katy Perry's ex, expressed sadness that Perry wasn't shot into space with a bunch of other women he never got to rape. Also, the mission was mainly considered a success because none of the women had to parallel park the rocket.
Sorry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I base that on Angela.
I know it.
She drives a car the size of a shoe and couldn't fit it anywhere.
Oh, seriously? You're that bad?
Well, yeah, I had them both in the car with me, and I am usually better at parallel parking than that, but no, okay, I'm not. But yeah, he got to witness it.
Yeah, there's no way.
That's impressive.
Thanks.
To be so bad at parallel parking.
Yeah.
It's a lot of looking behind
With your small car.
It's not that small.
There weren't like other cars in the street. There was no reason for it. You just had to pull in stop.
That's the worst.
It was at the outsider's house.
Yes. It was, yeah, it just...
So literally no other cars. All you had to do was just line it up with the sidewalk.
Not really. There was like
There was
agree
one
with this.
car and then another car.
maybe 30 feet away.
Why were you panicking?
I'm hearing Kayla say
panicking?
there was trash on the curb. Don't lie.
I didn't panic. I have bad depth perception.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I almost crashed the car 2 times on the way there as well. So
That's
fine.
true. We right after we picked up Garrett, she almost crashed the car into a Yukon, and then later she almost crashed the car. So she was driving, eating a giant hot dog on a stick, which just distracted the rest of us.
Right. You get Angela flying the next Katy Perry mission.
Yeah.
No kidding, right?
I'll take care of them. Don't worry. Ladies.
But yeah, ladies, how are you? Did anybody else bring sausage on a stick from Buc-ee's?
No one. I guess I will indulge.
A woman eat that from a gas station. I was so
It was
impressed.
at Buc-ee's, first of all. And then we had cake balls after, you and I.
We and I had cake
Cheers
balls.
our cake balls.
We commented on the cake ball. The cake balls there are a delight.
We're at
Buc-ee's.
Oh, Buc-ee's? Oh, everything at Buc-ee's is fantastic.
You can get everything at Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
There's
Actually, some fans that came to your show sent me a picture, and on the way up, they stopped at Buc-ee's and they got the Angela special, which is sausage
they?
on a stick and
Sausage
cake
on a
balls.
stick and cake balls.
18-inch kielbasa for the road.
just to have. The eating it in one bite was amazing. But
When she grabbed the back of her head, and shoved it down on top of it, that was unsettling.
it's like Woody Harrelson scene in Out of the Furnace.
Right.
It's like I slam her head into the dashboard. Just one. Have you ever seen that movie? It's the opening scene. Like a girl's eating a hot dog and mouths off to Woody Harrelson, and he just reaches over and smashes her head into the dashboard.
What's the name of this movie?
So the whole hot dog goes in her mouth.
What's the name of the movie?
Out of the Furnace.
I have not seen
It's like the most evil character Woody Harrelson's ever played. It's not the best movie, but he's
Scene one just does it. Scene one.
Scene one, like I feel like they added the first scene, so
You
you
watch the movie, they're like, this fucking sucks.
This is boring.
We didn't do a hook at the beginning.
After the first scene, you're like, yeah, this is, why am I here?
He just gets out of the car and so he's like, "What are you doing?" And then he just jacks that guy in the throat, like he's just hurting everybody.
When did this come out?
Maybe like 5 years ago. Have you seen
Oh,
it?
really?
No.
Okay, I've not even
seen
heard of it.
I have to watch it.
It's
Sounds
Christian Bale,
Out of the Furnace.
Casey Affleck, and him. Yeah, it's
Wow.
It's mostly a good movie, but it's not perfect. But he's got a sucker the whole movie, like a blow pop.
Okay.
And he's the only person I've ever seen terrifying in a movie with a blow pop. Like he's just this horrific person that lives in Appalachia.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I will check that out.
But
I
yeah,
love Woody Harrelson.
He's a good dude.
He can do.
Oh, yeah.
He can do anything.
all joking aside, she was very good driving the rest of the time.
The other times, it was fine.
Yes.
The times you were in deep throating a sausage
You've been
on a
with me in the
stick.
car. It's fine. Yeah.
I
the other
have,
times.
and you drove fine.
It was fine. I got nervous because they were both in the car. I don't know why.
So you were nervous.
I was a little nervous.
I was making comments. I was like, "You gonna parallel park?
You really think you could fit it in
You
there?
think you can? Can you?"
I joked.
I realized that these two cars are a football length, stadium length away from each other.
I just wanted to impress you guys, and I messed it up.
The best part about it was the one time I borrowed your car, and you said, "Hey, whatever you do, don't worry about my license plate bracket." And her license
that
plate
up.
bracket says, "Don't honk, I'll come."
And then she'll go, so people keep honking at you. Like she forgets she has it.
I forget it's on there.
So
And
yeah,
I get
been
mad.
funny
People
for
are
you.
honking at me.
Right.
Beep, beep.
I never ran an errand so quickly in my life. With
No, you beeped at me.
And then when Derek's driving it, it's especially funny.
Oh, yeah. It's a hoot.
I'd put that on my car. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll get you the bracket now.
I'll do it. Don't test me. I'll put girl boss in all diamonds. I should just start doing
And
that.
park
Just
here.
filling the back of my car with just effeminate stuff. Where I just look like a like a Texas cowgirl.
They're just going to think you're a lesbian when
Yeah.
you get out.
Yeah, that's true. They're gonna see me and still think I'm a lesbian.
That would be
They're
fantastic.
not gonna go, "Oh, it's a guy." They're gonna go, "No, it's still,
That's a butch lesbian right there.
It's a stud.
The lesbian in the booth told me kind of sort of a butch lesbian.
Cowboy butts drive me nuts.
Boy, that's a
Yeah.
pretty.
I think you make a very pretty butch lesbian.
Yeah, I think I do all right.
Yeah.
You know, I like golfing.
Yeah, you do.
That's the only thing that's on the list for butch lesbians.
Really, it's all they do, from what I understand.
Barbecuing, I think they also.
They do like barbecue. I believe
They're not that good at it.
No, well, they're women.
I think I might be a butch lesbian.
Not that women are clearly better cooks.
Yeah.
But men are better chefs. See what I'm saying?
No, keep talking. This is going
Yeah.
great for you.
I don't know why I keep bashing women. I think they're the superior sex.
I am so bedazzling the back of your car.
Dude, I'll do it. You find me a sticker. I don't care how ridiculous it is. It's going on the car.
Done.
That man had rights.
Challenge accepted.
You name it. Dude, I need a good bumper sticker. People say that all the time, right?
Yeah.
Need a good bumper sticker so people get to know who I am.
Slap my ass.
Perfect. I like it. What do you got?
Oh, I'm going to... There's a million things racing through my head right now.
I really will. I love that car, but it's been hit by every single form of tires falling off of trucks.
Of transportation here in Texas.
Yes. Chicken coops falling out of the back of a truck. That was fun.
Drones falling out of the sky.
Ladders. There's no reason for me to ever buy a car. It's just been destroyed by the wonderful, wonderful Dallas traffic.
Wow, I've not had anything in my car here.
Nothing?
Nothing. There was that.
Seriously?
His kid one time, but.
Oh no, mine has been jacked.
They didn't hear.
I missed that.
What did you say?
I said there was that kid one time.
I didn't hear you. They said hit one time. Yeah. Well, kids leave a dent.
Now, your car looks like Rihanna.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's why I'll put eyelashes on it. Because it could just look like a fat lip. Speaking of vaginas, Dr. Steve, with a bunch of women going into space and doing something like being in a rocket where they don't belong, can you tell me about what else doesn't belong, such as what vaginal bacteria is?
Hey, it's your old pal, Dr. Steve, and this week Sam asks, when I'm intimate with my girlfriend, I detect a distinct fishy odor coming from her nether region. What could be causing this? Is there anything we can do about it? Well, Sam, this is a very common problem with a reasonably straightforward answer. The vaginal flora, a term we use to describe the microorganisms that line the membrane of the vagina, are generally dominated by a very benign and pleasant bacteria called lactobacillus. I think it's a sign of the sense of humor of the creator of the universe that the same bacteria that creates a favorable vaginal environment also makes yogurt. If for some reason the lactobacillus is decimated by antibiotics or changes in the vaginal environment, other bacteria can move in and ruin the neighborhood, so to speak. Scented soaps, douches, sexual activity, etc. can increase the risk of bacteria that can invade and cause the fishy odor that you've noticed. To diagnose this condition, called bacterial vaginosis, healthcare providers will take a sample of vaginal fluid and look at it under the microscope. Seeing bacteria adhering to cells is a strong clue that bacterial vaginosis is the culprit. In fact, we call these markers clue cells. Another confirmatory test is to take the fluid sample and drop a strong base like potassium hydroxide on the slide and take a whiff. If a strong fishy smell is noted, the diagnosis can be made. Coincidentally, we call that the whiff test. So not every medical term is cryptic, at least not when female anatomy is concerned. Ultimately, treatment consists of killing off the bad bacteria and allowing the lactobacillus to take over again. One way to hasten the lactobacillus taking over is to use plain, cultured yogurt mixed with water in a vaginal rinse, which helps to replenish the good bacteria. If you're having trouble bringing this up to your paramour, take her on a nice outing to a fish market. Do your best impression of a sightless person and shout, "Hello, ladies," at the top of your lungs. She'll get the message and will love you for being such a caring and supportive partner. Right, Dave?
That's right, Dr. Steve.
We love that.
We do. And if you want to prevent bacterial growth, let me tell you something about Miracle Made sheets.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, they prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, which means they stay cleaner longer. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Listen, they're temperature regulating. When you're laying there at night, I like to be a cool sleeper, you know? I throw on sunglasses and play jazz.
That is you.
Cool.
That is cool.
But I do. I like to sleep cool. I don't like a hot, especially in Texas.
Does anyone like a hot bed?
I don't know if a lot of people like it.
If anyone's like, I want to sweat my balls off tonight.
I really want a gross, sweaty bed. I want to wake up just covered in water.
Stick fucking bacterial vaginosis.
I want blue cheese in my ass when I wake up.
This is an ad, guys.
Sorry.
Blue cheese in my ass.
Perhaps we should. Well, you don't want that either, unless you're doing Bob Levy's Closer. So as the weather is heating up, you're going to want to be cooling down, and that's what you can do with the temperature regulating properties for a better quality night sleep. I have these. I actually love them. They're inspired by NASA. They're infused with silver, and like I said, they're self-cleaning, unlike what we just discussed. And they prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth. And you can get them today by going to trymiracle.com/conservative. Again, that's trymiracle.com/conservative, because apparently normal isn't a promo code anymore.
The promo code should have been blue cheese ass.
I actually agree.
It's easy to remember.
Yes. But also, not only will you get the sheets, you get a 3-piece towel set. That's face, that's hand, that's body. And, you get 20% off anyway. But you know what? If you check out right now, you're going to save 40%. That's another 40% on top of it.
That's good.
That's all you have to do. trymiracle.com/conservative. And you are going to have a wonderful night's sleep. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode.
And it's guaranteed.
Yes, the money back guarantee. Yeah. Full refund. It's not a partial refund.
It's a full refund.
It's a full refund. So let's not get it. Okay, great.
All right, it's over now.
Yes, I'm a Weezer fan. I'm gonna.
We saw Weezer.
We saw Weezer last year.
Separately, we sat separately.
I sat with Ken so you could fall off the wagon.
I don't consider that off the wagon.
I don't know why I said that, but I feel like you did.
What? Fine. Yeah.
Did you?
Well, I was on LSD.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I wouldn't call that.
I don't think that's off the wagon. That's not to me.
So LSD is a sober thing.
Yeah.
That's getting hit by the wagon.
The sobriety of mind.
I only do hard drugs.
Yeah,
I'm sober.
What part of the program did LSD pop in and was like, hey,
I was
this
doing
is cool.
my own program at the time.
Well, I got like extra seats too, and she's like, I'll just be on the lawn. I'm like, oh, you're clearly not hiding something.
I told you before we went that I was going to be doing that. And you still were like, oh, we're down in the pavilion. And I was like, I cannot get there.
You're like, I will never find
No, I don't want a Corona. Oh, you said LSD? Yes.
Yes. I'm sober. I can't possibly have a Mick Ultra.
I got to tell you, though, of all the concerts to watch on LSD, that's a fine one.
It was
that's
great.
A fine
the whole
one. Good choice.
The stage looked like the dashboard of a car.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome. It was really good.
It was one of the
in
best.
your eyes, or was it actually
No,
like that?
No, it was definitely in all of our eyes, but I was enjoying it. I used to love concerts on acid. It was one of my favorite activities, so I don't blame anybody.
I've never done acid.
I'm sober from acid.
You gotta do it.
That's good. How long
You're
has it
sober from acid.
Wait, you've never done acid?
No.
I mean,
Even when that you grew up in the 60s?
I was born in 66.
You were?
Yes.
Fuck.
Grew up in the 60s.
I was joking.
Fuck yourself.
You were still, well, I guess in the 70s you wouldn't have, you would have been an age I was when I did acid, but I guess 80s, what were you doing? Just
protesting,
rails?
drinking
Cocaine.
more.
Drinking, yeah.
Just drinking.
Yeah, very Michigan.
Yeah. Very Michigan.
Have you done acid?
No, I've never done acid.
Never.
No.
I feel like we got to get you two on acid.
Yeah.
I feel like 36 is a little late in the game
It's
to try
not, man.
acid
It's
for the
so
first
not.
time.
It's great. It's great. It's honestly so good.
Okay, what the fuck is this? The opposite of AA?
I don't. It's not addictive, so I think it's fine.
I would argue that it is.
It's not. It's not.
She read the ad for LSD like you did for Miracle Sheets.
It's not addictive in the sense that you have to have it, But it
It's
is
fun,
addictive
and you
in the
wanna do it
sense
again.
of, yeah, it's really
It's
great.
fun.
It's wonderful escapism.
You can only do it once every like 2 weeks at the most.
I
We
did
do
it.
it bi-weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it every other day for years. But
You got
Did
to
you
mark it
have
on your
to-
calendar like when you change your contacts out.
did I have to take more?
Yeah, did you have to? Because
You bet your bottom
your
dollar I
receptors
did.
don't allow. Like you can't do it like back to back, right? So you have to double your dose each time.
People argue you can. I could never trip well 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
Ever. So I would wait at least 2 days, and then I would up the dose, and then we started stopping when my friend took 19, and I took, I think it was 13 or
Hits of
14
acid?
hits of acid, yeah.
I
And
took one.
he never came back.
Drug addicts.
Wow.
Yeah, he's. I mean, he's.
Oh, like
watching
he
the
lost
show.
his mind a little bit.
Oh yeah, he came in. I went home. I think I've told this story on here before, but I went home. We were tripping, and I went inside my house, and my parents had a very 70s motif going on, and I
You
was
were
in
just
my-
hanging out and doing this, or did you guys go to a concert or
No,
something?
we were hanging out, just doing acid. Oh, we would do acid in school and stuff. We just
Okay.
took acid all the time.
Derek hasn't read your book.
What's that?
No, not yet.
He hasn't read your book.
I've read the book.
Well,
Well, you
apparently
would know.
you didn't remember it. So I was anyway in my basement. I'm starting to question your authenticity as a friend.
I colored
I'm
most
glad
of the
that I'm
book
not the
in.
Derek being targeted right
No,
now.
it's that one.
No, it's Richard's who's the problem. So anyway, I go into my basement. I was like, a Dennis Leary movie was on. I think it was The Ref, and like I knew it was fake, but the Dennis Leary TV was projecting onto the wood paneling, so it was a giant Dennis Leary just like yelling at me. And then my friend Ray called. Sorry, I outed you, and was like, I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm watching a Dennis Leary movie. It's freaking me out. I'm gonna come pick you up." I was like, "Okay." He was having the same problem, and he shows up, and he's just got this like giant gash, like, and not like the ones that went into space. This was a cut.
He had a small Katy Perry in his arm.
Yeah. He had this giant gash that was bubbling and bloody. And I was like, "What happened here?" And he goes, I had to get the bad blood out, so I cut myself open, sealed it shut with a lighter. And I was like, "Cool. We should probably get away from my house now." And I just let him drive. Then
That's
we
a
went.
good choice.
We went and cleaned out his car. I'm telling you, if you have ever had acid freaks clean out a car, it is immense. It's the best detailing job you will ever see. They don't miss a thing.
Yeah, sure. It's covered in blood when it's all done.
Yeah.
It's super clean.
Granted, yeah, he had that scar pretty prominent for the rest of his life. But I'll never forget the way he was looking at me, and I was like, "Okay, go." But yeah, we would take it all the time. The weirdest thing I ever did, and I knew I couldn't accomplish it, but I tried, was I was trying to chop down a tree so I could then turn it into a canoe and take it to 7-Eleven and get tissues because my allergies were bugging.
Oh, you can do that.
Yeah, we were doing this behind a random house where we found lawn chairs.
Oh my God.
But I didn't make the canoe. My friend Anthony was like, "Just let him be."
Dave, that's a rose bush.
It was not good.
The fact that it was your buddy who drove on acid.
Oh yeah.
Wow. That's impressive.
Oldsmobile 88, so he never had to worry about getting pulled over.
Oh my God.
Nobody thought anybody in that car was under the age of 100.
And it's built like a tank.
Oh yeah, they were great. Well, and, I mean, I tripped for 7 days. That's why I stopped.
Oh, nonstop. Is this
Would
the
not-
13 hit thing?
No, I mean, I tripped a while on that, but I took a sugar cube. It was one of the first times I had taken it. And my friend, his sister, like dumped just a ton of acid on it. I couldn't even tell you the amount. But 7 days later is when I came down and finally slept. And I remember I was eating dinner with my parents and everything was like, it's weird because it's not people who haven't done it. You don't actually see delusions. You see more like silhouettes and, things that you can kind of make into something. It doesn't, but it's not necessarily real. But at this point, I had been so sleep deprived that like my parents looked like they were like 10 feet tall and I couldn't figure out how to cut the food on my plate. I was just like, I'm going to go take a shot. I had no appetite. I was walking around trying to find the word niacin, even though that doesn't really work. But I was trying to find the thing that would take me down. I was drinking like fifths. I was doing everything I could. Nothing would stop this trip. And then after that,
Oh my
I
god,
stuck
that would
to
fucking
shrooms.
Xanax
scare
will
the
stop
sh-
it.
that would
How did
scare
you
the shit out of
navigate?
me.
Xanax will stop acid?
Yeah, it's a trip killer.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I wish somebody had told
just so
me.
you know. Just
look
so
at
if you're having a bad trip, it takes some.
She's
Xanax.
definitely here from Big Acid.
Yeah, she's from Big Acid.
Recruiting for sure.
She's from
yeah.
Big Xanny.
Yeah.
Well, I would have Valium, and I would try Valium, and that wouldn't work. And that's a benzo.
Something
Did
about
your
the
parents
Xanax.
have any clue what was going on with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was arrested about yeah.
But I mean, at the time when you're tripping for 7 days straight.
No, but when I began seeing people that weren't there when I was having DTs from alcohol is when I talked to my dad.
Right.
And I was like, I think I've done a lot of damage to my brain. And he's like, okay, why? I'm like, well, there's a party going on in the other room, but nobody's talking and there's no music playing and you're just sitting in here. And he's like, okay, you have delusionary tremens. And he knew it because he was a combat medic.
Right.
So, yeah, it was, he kind of explained to me what was happening, and that was one of my first stints to rehab. Like, I used to see, it's in my book, but like a little girl at the edge of my bed, but like my age, I guess you could say at the time, but she wouldn't talk or anything. She would just stare at me. And I knew she wasn't real, but it was whenever I was coming down from like all these drugs and alcohol that I would start seeing these like really bad
Jesus.
delusions. Yeah.
Oh my God.
This definitely makes me want to like get into drugs and
should do
acid
it,
and
man.
stuff.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Just
What
one.
you want is the creepy little
One
girl at the
fucking
end of your
scary
bed.
children
I used to
in my
see a
room.
bone
Right.
lady.
Used to see a bone lady?
Yeah, when
See?
I was having she was like an old hag made of like fish bones.
The fuck?
I'm not judging. I've been there.
Damn.
Derek and I are judging a little bit.
The fact that
I'm
Derek
more stunned.
The fact that Derek
know.
doesn't have DTs is because he never puts the bottle down.
I'm still here.
Oh, God, I didn't
Okay.
see you there.
Yeah.
Republican Red.
Oh yeah, Weezer.
Quick question.
Yes.
Bacterial vaginosis.
Yes.
Was that all part of the ad? I really thought we were going to dive into yogurt pussy and stuff. I was ready for it.
Dive into it.
That is the most whacked out parfait ever.
Yeah, I was like, how good are these sheets? Like, does the yogurt come right off when you're just bathing your wife in it? Babe, it smells like fucking bacterial vaginosis in here. Go get the yogurt.
Yeah, the thick yogurty thing. Yeah. No, we didn't. That wasn't part of it. We just wanted to ask Dr. Steve about it.
Okay.
But I was able to so seamlessly,
Move into the
intertwine.
You wove that
Man of your craft, dude.
wove that together very
That way, if you got yogurt pussy, as you've called it, you can get those sheets and it'll wick right off. I can't promise it to a money back guarantee, but it won't be all yogi.
miracle sheets will rid you of yogurt.
Yogurt puss.
Why do I think that
that
yogurt
could have been the
pussy,
discount code. Yogurt.
Yogurt
puss.
puss. People would use it then. You know, there'd be at least a few insecure women that were like,
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, but there would be a lot of dudes ordering it.
Oh, yeah, there would be.
Code yogurt puss.
oh, yeah,
today.
yogurt puss I'm going to get. Dicks smell too, though.
Yeah.
I go out for like a jog. Okay, that's a lie. But I mean, let's just say I'm out all day in the sun. And then I go to pee. I'll be like, my God.
Yeah, but I've never smelled anything but like that smells like it needs yogurt all over it.
especially not when you're wearing undertech.
Well, Undertech, it doesn't happen.
No.
I don't have any odor with Undertech.
That's because Undertech's actually built with yogurt in it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, whatever they use, if they
That
use
is the secret ingredient.
Modal is yogurt puss.
Oikos yogurt.
Greek's got it. I've never met a smelly Greek, dude.
Oh,
How? There's no way that's true.
he's never met a Greek dude. Then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've no
That was a Mexican, Derek.
people that the people that invented anal sex. never met a smelly one in my day. The coach should have just been speak Greek.
That's
Just
conservative.
code. Let's talk about this. California Highway Patrol. And some of you have already heard this news, but we like to be a day late. Anyway, there was a hit and run. The cops, as the LAPD, as well as the California Highway Patrol, chased this fella who was involved in this. I should probably just read what they wrote. 3 unidentified suspects fled the scene on foot. One bailed out of his vehicle, climbed over a freeway embankment, and ended up on a residential street. The suspect stripped off some of his clothes, trying to blend into the neighborhood. Of course, it didn't work. As cops scoured the area looking for that suspect, officers went into the backyard of a house where the suspect had fled, which happened to be next to Weezer bassist Scott Schreiner's house. Scott's wife, Jillian Lauren, emerged from their house, gun in hand. Officers yelled at her to drop the weapon, but the cops say she ignored multiple commands. The LAPD says she then pointed her weapon at the officers. They fired, striking her in the shoulder. She then ran back into the house. Later, she surrendered, and the police confiscated a 9mm. She is now being charged with attempted murder. Since she is white, the bullet wound was not fatal, but it did destroy her sweater. She is allegedly filing a civil suit against the LAPD for $34, which was the cost of the Starbucks latte she dropped during the skirmish.
I just don't know how she comes out of the house with a gun.
Right.
The guy was in the neighbor's backyard. And then she comes out of the house with a gun and is pointing at the cops. So I'm curious how this all connects.
She was on LSD.
LSD does make it make sense.
She had to be on something, like some level of
She's
paranoia.
married to a Weezer guy.
Yeah, I mean, look at her. She looks like...
She looks like she would emerge from the backyard with a gun.
With a gun.
She has the look.
They showed a video of her like training at the gun range, and she goes to the gun range and like was doing lots
She was
of
like,
like
this is my
drills and
fucking
stuff.
moment,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I think she.
Here's my time with the police outside.
I'm going to go...
I should bring my 9mm out.
Doesn't it sound like suicide by cop, though?
It does.
Like you're coming out,
But anything can sound like suicide by cop.
That's true. I guess that's true. But I mean, if you're coming out and you're going right at 10 cops and you're pointing a gun at them, you're kind of asking for several shots. And you're just not putting it down.
And she was behind a fence, and that is the MO recently.
Yeah.
Well, unless she was, like you
seen
said...
44 minutes.
Well, unless, like you're talking about, if she's on something and the cops are all of a sudden in the neighborhood and she thinks they're after her and she's paranoid and comes outside because they're after somebody who was in the neighbor's
Oh, you're conspiracy theorying this
the neighbor's
a little bit.
backyard. So
typically when you hear guns go off on drugs, you tend to hide, at least as the user. Mm-hmm. Now, the dealer may be a different story, but anytime I've been in a place with a gun going off and I'm on drugs, I don't go towards
Yeah, it is a weird part of the story if she emerges to protect her own property and the cops say, put that down. She's like, fuck you, I'm the police now. It's like that. Right. There's something missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems strange that you would just come out and point it at the cops. Like, I feel like there's something. I'm the captain. But it does seem strange that you would just come out and point it at police. I wonder... I mean, she probably was terrified of somebody running in her yard and had the gun.
Maybe it was more of like a shut the fuck up pointing.
It could, yeah.
Oh,
like,
fuck you, you pussies. I got this.
Like, I can totally do this. I live here. I'm pointing it at you.
Yeah. You know, when you see 10 little laser dots all over your chest.
Have you ever had guns pointed at you by cops?
No.
It's alarming. And I'll tell you, like we were running,
Are you Tupac?
Uh-huh.
Are you Tupac?
Used to be.
Yeah.
I couldn't get the Thug Life tattoo off, but boy, did they dye me white. I can still do ballet. That's a deep cut for anybody who got it. He was in a musical school.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, moving on. No, we were shooting in our backyard. Our neighbors had a chicken coop or a pigeon coop, and they were crapping all over the neighborhood. And we had 2 guns. One was a CO2 powered handgun. The other one was a rifle. And we were shooting them off a power line, which I wouldn't do now. But I was young and stupid, and it was funny. So somebody
both
called,
CO2 powered.
Yeah.
Guns? Okay.
Oh no, the handgun dude was like I could seriously hurt you with it.
Okay.
Like it was going through birds.
Oh.
Yeah, well, and I mean, this is in Detroit, so, there's just a bunch of dead pigeons on my garage. But somebody called the police, so the cops come running through one backyard holding their guns, telling us to get down. My brother gets down, but me and my friend Sean go running out front holding the guns. So that's when these two cop cars just stopped in front of the house, pulled out their guns, and pointed them at us.
How old were you?
12.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we were like, what? And we threw him on the ground. Mind you, my mom's in like a bipolar mood swing, so she's just sitting in the living room, not even noticing this is happening. And we're just both on the ground. They're like, put your hands behind your head. And me and Sean are like, we're going to jail. And then they came up and they saw what we did, and they were like, okay, well, this is a lot of bird crap. We're going to talk to them and confiscate these guns. You cannot have these guns. And then they took them.
Oh my God.
They seriously thought it was just people shooting, and they were going to shoot, but like my brother got down and we ran out front before the guy could.
This was your neighbor's pigeon coop that they had?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pigeon coops are fucking weird, man. There's someone.
Why did they have, what were they?
letters?
They just,
Secret letters.
what is this, the 1800s?
No, I feel, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I feel bad for pigeons because they were our telephones.
That is true.
And we've decided to leave them to die.
Yep.
Like we've left
The
them.
hands of young Dave.
Yes. And now I see
Now they're
pigeons.
just the original homeless.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
That's why even the other day I saw a pigeon in the airport, and then I got a food out of the candy machine and started feeding the pigeon because I feel bad for what we've done to their kind.
That's sweet.
You got
nice
food
of you,
out of the
dude.
machine at the airport,
Yeah, got a Nutter Butter,
and you fed the pigeon.
and I fed it to the pigeon.
Damn.
I saw recently at the I wasn't there, but at the E-terminal of DFW, a woman got completely fucking naked and had like a manic episode swinging around.
Yeah.
That shit's fun.
can feed
I never
her.
get fun stuff when
I
I
also fed her a
know,
different
right?
kind of Nutter Butter.
It was covered in acid.
I fucking bathed her in yogurt afterwards.
People getting naked at the airport is just... You know what would make you not get naked at the airport?
What?
If you're wearing some comfortable undergarments like Undertack. Ooh. The world's best boxer briefs.
Phenomenal.
Designed for special force operations in Africa, harsh terrain, Undertack is just underwear. Not. It's the best underwear you can possibly get. I love them. I'm telling you, it's cool, it's dry, it keeps everything locked in. You feel comfy in it, secure. You can go anywhere. If you have a little bit of pee dribbles when you get to my age, I think you both experience it, and you don't want it to shine through onto your khakis you're wearing that day. That's a great thing to have because it's not going to go through. It's not going to go through that material.
Like a ShamWow for your penis.
It's a ShamWow for your penis. It is absolutely, but more comfortable than wearing a ShamWow. It's a comfortable penis ShamWow. They're honestly, I hate to insult the earlier people, but they gotta be easily in my top 2 favorites. I love them.
They're my favorite.
They have new merino socks. They have hoodies that I love. They're built comfortably. And right now, if you go to undertack.com, you can use promo code NORMAL to buy 3 and get 1 free for all Undertack underwear.
That's great.
Yes. And the best part is your dollar goes to support veterans groups and as well as stop human trafficking. They're made in America. They support American heroes. They secure your junk, and they can help you complete the mission. When you need your gear that doesn't quit, Undertack's got your 6.
You know if they have the little nut holder?
They do.
do.
They have a cradle, as
They
you
also
can see.
have a little pocket for you can put your micro SD cards in there.
My
I'm not
micro
kidding.
what?
SD cards.
SD cards.
They did that on purpose.
Yeah, they did.
But yeah, they are honestly the most comfortable pair of underwear I own.
Biggest innovation in underwear was giving you a wiener pocket.
Yes. Oh, it's so smart.
Huge.
Matched. Yeah.
And then they also have the right amount of like where you can pull it out, and then it still gets the cover.
You pull your wiener out of your underwear?
You can with those.
In
Do
these,
you?
they're like
Yes.
different.
Wow.
I tuck my shirts into my underwear. No, I like to pull my pants down to my knees as if
Like
I
a
have,
kindergarten pisser.
as if I have like
It was 5 years old.
mental impairment.
When I was
What to do at a stadium.
So when I was in the thick of
taking a pee at a Red Wings game, just drop your drawers right there.
Yes.
when I was in the thick of my drinking days, I would be in public restrooms and I would see how far back I could go and still make it into the urinal. So guys would walk in, I'd be halfway behind the urinal just pissing into it. Never got any compliments. No one was ever like, that's fucking amazing.
Great job. Well, did you ever have to deal with the stadium troughs?
I hate those, dude. I'll turn around. I'll piss my pants before I piss shoulder to shoulder into a bucket.
It's
In the big bathtubs, yeah.
Yeah, and then they'll just throw ice in there, which just creates a splash from other people's.
I never understand.
You don't even know what you're getting hit with.
I can never understand what the ice was for.
The smell.
Is it?
Probably.
Yeah,
It just waters it down, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, probably waters down the smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to do that at a lot of bars I hung out in.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, it was the old ice piss.
Just be 8 dudes standing there with their dicks out and no one's pissing. Everyone's just like, come on, buddy. Come on.
It's so I love. It's a great innovation. Is when they put the guards between each stall, so you're not like. You're still like you can hear it, and you're like, which one of us is gonna go first? This is such an awkward, tense moment where you don't know whose water, and I know my stream's not gonna be as good.
It's a subpar stream.
It's a subpar stream. It's
You
not.
walk
It's
in
not a
already beating
subpar
yourself
faucet,
up.
but the interior is no good.
You say that so often.
I just have asbestos dick. Because I want to be aware that just because it looks great
yeah.
doesn't mean that it functions properly.
All right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a tit for tat yin and yang.
Okay.
It's like a nice house, but it's covered in lead paint.
Yes, it's a nice house that when you go in, it's been gutted.
Yeah.
And somebody took all the copper, and there's just one hose dripping.
It's just for looks.
You turn on the sink, it's brown.
Yeah.
No cupboard doors.
Just blood like it's haunted. Oh man, I don't say that a lot.
More than anyone I know.
Yeah. It's because
Who else do you know?
A lot of guys.
I go up to her every day, and I'm just like, my penis.
Just a
is
reminder,
huge.
it's really big.
It's big for the frame. If you put it on, a basketball player, it's not going to look right. First of all, it's not even going to match the color.
So what you've got is a semi with a 4-cylinder engine in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Wow, it's a big truck.
No, he's a Volkswagen Beetle with a fucking big block in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I like that. That's a better analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's emphasize the girth, not comparison to the bigger thing. Yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry.
It's like a limo with Brian Austin Green in it. Like doesn't really need all the limo. No one cares about it.
No, he doesn't.
Maybe at one time, but not anymore.
Nope.
I think we can all relate.
Yes, we can.
Yes. Well, now I'm embarrassed.
I had sex last night, so
Did you?
I'm fine. I did.
With who?
My wife.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Yeah, now that the bacterial vaginosis is through, we're back.
Oh, no. It's going to come back now.
I couldn't help but notice the stench in yogurt was gone.
I knew it was game time when I came home and there was an empty thing of yogurt on the counter. I was like,
Here we go.
Yeah.
here we go.
The magic's happening.
She's spread eagle is what you mean by empty thing of yogurt. Yeah, vaginas are weird. Not as weird as dicks.
They're weirder than dicks.
I don't think they're weirder than dicks.
Well,
What's
They're
the
weird in
basis of the
different ways.
comparison?
Yeah, what's the
the look of
what's
them.
the benchmark?
Dicks, I guess, look weirder, especially, I guess, uncircumcised ones. I don't
Yeah,
know.
those are ridiculous. I agree.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
But vaginas, like the way that they operate, is much more strange than a penis.
Yeah, it's like a factory.
It's like, yeah, it's
They make
complicated,
vaginosis
mysterious
stuff.
thing,
Yeah, it just says you make yogurt
dicks
with
are
it.
pretty straightforward. you
Yeah.
know?
They got eggs and stuff like it's a grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a whole dairy section between the
whole-
eggs and the yogurt.
There's a meat part.
Yeah.
With the deli meat part, is that what you're talking
There's
about?
a deli section. There's
Yeah.
eggs.
Yogurt.
There's yogurt. There's red wine.
There's the home goods sections with the drapes.
I don't know. They look. A penis just looks like a Muppet.
Yeah.
And like a really bad one that
It
Jim
looks like an
Henson threw
amputation
away.
at the elbow.
It does,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, like it's just not. It's just a stick used for procreation.
one purpose, yeah.
One besides peeing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same hole.
Yeah.
True.
It's like life comes out of here as well as, what my body doesn't want.
That's a conversation you should have in the men's room.
Hey, friend, have you ever
By
thought?
the way, you know, life comes out of here along with piss.
Hey, is this pee or cum?
Where
Can you tell me?
Where are you going? How come you're backing up so far? And
It's filled with the most easily attainable thing in the planet.
Right.
Men's jizz. Like if anyone can get it.
True.
I can't believe people pay for it at a sperm bank. It's like, really? You bought this? I can introduce you like 10 guys that'll hook you up for free.
Gotta get it yourself.
I literally,
you got to do a little bit of work.
I literally go to the sperm bank with just a handful of hotel towels.
Oh, it's good.
Oh my God.
There you go.
And then they just give you $12.
Yeah.
Like, this is pretty good.
If I'm lucky.
Yeah. You drop them, they just shatter. We've gone too far, folks.
Yes.
We need to get into some serious stuff here. The New York Post has reported that John Lennon and Paul McCartney had an erotic component to their friendship. Not yet.
Premature.
A little premature. They had an erotic component to their friendship. Turned on by each other. That's right. They were both turned on by each other. And if you bang Yoko, I'm not surprised you're into men. Which brings us to tonight's half-ass top 10 LG Beatles Plus songs. Number 1, Derek.
Hey, dude.
Number 2, Angela.
Come together.
Number 3, other Derek.
I want to hold your heart on.
Number 4, Here Comes the Buns.
Number 5, He Loves You. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Angela.
Number 6, Brown Submarine.
Jesus.
Number 7.
Other Derek.
Other Derek.
With a little mess from my friend.
Number 8. While my rectum gently weeps.
That's my favorite one.
Number 9, All You Need Is Prep.
Yep.
Number 10, Obladio. Good Lord, ow.
Number 11, what do you got?
Day Dripper.
That's 11 for your half-ass top 10.
I got a bonus.
I thought you were going to say boner.
I
Yeah.
think of both.
Yeah. We're almost out of time.
Oh,
You're
no.
almost out of time.
You're almost out of time.
Yeah.
I don't even know which one of these. Let's just talk. How are you?
Delightful.
Good.
How about yourself?
I don't know. I'm fine. Had a good therapy session today.
Did you?
Oh, good.
What'd you talk about?
Talk about how you have to stay positive and look at only the positive things and stay in the moment, which is impossible for me.
Yeah.
So
I'm
what were the
really trying.
tricks that the therapist gave you? Tips.
The tricks,
Tricks or tips?
sleight of hand.
Learn
Was
magic?
this your card? Was this your card, Dave?
That's how I give people my business card. Too,
Is your
when-
therapist just a magician?
Yes.
It's the little girl that was at his bed. When he was
Right. He makes sadness disappear.
They're $100 less than a therapist.
Yeah. They are.
Pulling out handkerchiefs so I can cry. Are you a clown
Mime.
now? Yeah, it's just,
faster.
it's just a mime. So you're saying I'm stuck in a box?
And I can't get out?
What?
Why the odd expressions?
She had a good crying face, but we didn't go to it. Go to it.
So what were the tips
Make her do it again.
to make you more positive?
Honestly, You got to feel like your feet on the floor. You feel grounded. Look around. Realize what you're grateful for. Take in the moment. Enjoy the fact that you're with people. Or if you're not, when you eat food, savor the flavor. Don't just rush it. Stuff like that. Just be able to enjoy the moment and realize that you're okay in this exact moment. There's no past. There's no future. There's just now. And that when you start realizing that, you can start having at least some kind of peace.
Oh, that's cool.
That's like Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah, well,
I have a book for you.
I read his book, and my problem with it is I don't want to be homeless. I'm glad that he's content the whole time.
He's very rich.
Well, now he is. Yeah. But I'm like, but it's also, you're on a bench.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not going to be content on a bench.
You don't have to take everything he says.
Hey, have you ever tried it?
Well, I have slept on a bench.
Right.
Many times. Mm-hmm. Many times. I wasn't homeless. I just didn't know how to get home.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I slept on a bench outside a bar before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I slept on a fountain once.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Was it a nice one?
It's decent.
Pretty good?
It wasn't working. So
Naked guy statue?
Yeah.
It wasn't even a fountain. It was just some naked dude.
Yeah, it was just
peeing on
it
you.
was Joe Gatto.
Right.
You just keep waking up next to very well put together Greek naked men statues. Am I doing this on purpose?
It turns out they're not even statues, just a bunch of really good naked Greek men.
Those are the Greek guys.
I haven't been drinking for 6 months.
Right.
A bit of odor. Just wake up covered in pennies.
From heaven.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Did the therapist open up with this, with the whole positivity thing and said, hey, you are a negative Nancy. Here's how we're going to turn that frown upside down.
I had a very honest conversation that I'm going to put out soon with I'm going to go ahead and name drop here, famous person. And they realized that there's some different elements of where I'm not getting help.
Right.
And they got me a therapist for a few sessions, which was extremely generous.
Cool.
And we connected. And I'm now learning to try to be happy.
Nice.
Which is very hard.
That's like teaching a shark how to play baseball.
It is. It is. And it doesn't work. They play hockey.
Yeah.
Why are you sad?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, God. This awful earth? No, I mean, honestly, I've had depression since I was a kid, real young, and I just, various things have happened in my life to create it where it never seems to stop.
Yeah.
So at some point, the reason I did so many drugs was for escapism. It's hard to even say what I'm necessarily addicted to. I'm just addicted to anything that makes me not have to feel. So over time.
And a lot of it's in your book.
Yeah, a lot of it's in my book. You guys can read it, Party of One, a fuzzy memoir.
Derek, you can read it as well.
Available on Amazon. I read it 4 years ago.
Yeah, but truthfully, like when you get so many things built up to be positive, your heart breaks, we all deal with it, but so many things happen that you have trouble handling. Eventually, you feel more comfortable in the darkness.
Yeah.
Even if you can see the light, you don't want to go to it because you don't want to feel that pain again. It's easy to put yourself in a manageable, constant pain than it is to try to be
comfort.
happy.
That's what I started doing therapy. I think around the same time you started doing it. It was the same thing. Just like my therapist asked me if I had an empathy for young Derek and like the things he went through, and I fucking blew my mind because I was like, oh Jesus, no. I don't even look at like the young Derek as like a person. It was like an engine to fuel never wanting to be there again. Like just run as fast as you can from like, the shit that you went through, and I like had completely disconnected the feeling from it. So he made me like write down shit and feel it.
Well, yeah, that's the worst part is going back and trying to re-examine who you were years ago and, and what screwed you up. You don't want to, you want to put that in a closet and just leave it alone and say, this is not going to come out again.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's hard because you want to get rid of stuff that's happened in your past.
Right.
But you don't want to relive your past, especially if you keep making similar mistakes over and over again. But it's very, very hard. Like, it just comes down to a matter of choice, and that's what I'm learning. It's like, if you make these simple choices, and I was doing this for a while, even when I lived in New York. Like, I was exercising every day. I was eating healthier. My body looked like it. I was on a show that I loved. And I ruined that for myself. And I don't know why I did it. It's just this self-destructive nature inside of me. But that's something that I have to cope with, and that's a new battle that I have to be a part of. And it's a terrible feeling, and I don't want things to keep going south. And it gets hard, and I don't know how to escape the darkness in my mind. I don't know how to escape it. I don't, and I want to.
Yeah.
But even when she said, like, are you willing to get out of that? And I'm like, I can't tell you yes. I want to.
Right.
But it's so hard for me to be like, this is great. Even if everything around me is great. It was like, read your book reviews. Look at what look at how people respond to your comedy. And I'm like, yeah, my comedy though is comedy based on misery.
Right.
Yeah.
Is how I get to it.
But that's also, again, that's also part of the therapy too, I think, is you doing your comedy and the fact that it is based on stuff that you went through.
It is, and I think that's what
and being able to speak it to a room full of strangers and getting them to laugh at you.
No, it's when I first
and kind of not laugh at you, but just
no, it's fine.
Yeah, you
Bring
fucking
them joy.
clown.
But I mean, relate to it.
Yeah, I mean, yes, there's something there that's cathartic, and I think it's something anybody should do is somehow artistically express, if you can, something in your life or what you want changed. But it's hard because you want everything to be fixed now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a 10-year-old in 5 years from now. I have a 15-year-old. I want to, I need to be present, and that's what I am as much as I can be for my son. And I'm there every time he needs me. But that's part of it is I don't want to be living with the mentality of a broken child.
Yeah. My therapist told me they're both you. Like, you can't have happiness without sadness.
Right.
You can't just, like, put it away and pretend it never happened, because then you don't get to have all of this, because it's, like, always, like, lurking and lingering. And it's the hardest thing to fucking put away, man. Because for the longest time, like, comfort was the closet. Like, that's, like, all the darkness was, like, where I actually felt the safest, which is, like, the craziest fucking... I sat down at a coffee shop and started writing, trying to feel my childhood. I was fucking weeping in the middle of a fucking coffee shop. Just, like, trying to come to terms with, like, who the fuck am I?
Right.
Because I struggle with the same things, dude.
Yeah.
Like, surrounded by everything going right, but it's, like, this little voice that's like, fuck you.
No, you're spot on, because, yeah, the figuring out who you are, I struggle with it. I know parts of who I am.
Yeah.
But there's so many variations of who I've been, whether it's to please other people or to
survive.
Yeah, it's just yeah. So I mean, you're in therapy. How do you feel about it?
No, I relate a lot to what you guys are saying, and specifically what you were talking about, like your therapist asking you, "Well, do you have empathy for this other person?" Like, I hated myself for a long time because I just hated the person that I had become through, like, drinking and the way that my life was, and it was like, no, like, you need to learn to have compassion for this person and forgive yourself for all of these things. And it's like, I mean, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
And looking at somebody else's, you could be like, oh, like, I see so much value in Dave, and like things like what you're talking about. It's hard because I just want to, like, shake you and be like, why can't you see,
You've
but
got
like,
a big dick,
it's
bro.
the same
It's
thing.
huge.
Yeah, you have the biggest dick.
I know, that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah, I knew.
No,
but
validation.
that's what you were fishing for.
I know, thank you.
Took us long enough. Jesus Christ.
No, but it's true. Like, I see why you're valid. I see what's positive about you. I see what your talents are. I can see what your talents are. I know what your talents are. It's not hard for me to see that, but
With yourself, it's just a whole different story.
They said, look up a picture of when you were a kid. I put one online, of it was me with like the Ghostbuster stuff in the 80s.
Yeah.
And how much hope and excitement and I don't know, and
Just
looking
joy,
at it,
yeah.
and trying to say, hey, here's what happens to that kid, and I can't get through it for more than 5 minutes.
I know.
Right.
It's the most painful thing because it looks like my child, who fortunately does not have to experience a lot of the things that I did, but he'll experience heartbreak, he'll experience pain, and there's nothing I would want less than that, but it's just the reality of life.
Yeah, but everybody's wired differently to take in different things.
They are, and I think he's going to have a different...
Or how they process it.
A different mentality. For a long time, though, I can be very sensitive, and I'm very much sort of an empath where I feel other people's pain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not really beneficial. I mean, it builds a thick skin, but eventually your
You
thick
kind of lose
skin.
yourself in that too because you take on so many other people's emotions.
Oh my
and
God, dude.
I know what you're
And
talking
then it makes
about
it harder to be like, who am I?
Yeah.
Like, am I that guy? Or am I that guy that was in 2016? Or this guy now? It's like, what fucking flavor am I?
Yeah,
No,
you're
it's
just all
true.
those guys
Yeah.
trying to survive. That's like
Well-
you learn it from like when you're a kid, you know, because you go into this like fight or flight mode or whatever it is that you
Yes.
have to do to protect yourself, and then your body and your brain just like your body keeps the score, right? Like you get into the same cycles, and like even now, I'm repeating the same cycles in my life that I learned how to do when I was a kid because I was just trying to survive the day. And
That was
you get into that cycle.
That was the thing that I wrote about in my notebook was like, I always say like if I'm feeling really stressed out or like anxious or like things I don't feel like are going right, I say I want to just run away to the woods. And I said that to my therapist and he was like, you don't talk about bringing your family with you. It just you go to the woods. And as I'm writing at this cafe, I started writing about how it felt to be a kid. And it was like I was dropped off I just started flowing. It was like if I was in the middle of the woods and it was either live or die. Like I'm alone in the woods, die or live. And that's what it felt like to be a kid. And then I started I was like, Jesus Christ. And now I talk about when I'm stressed, I want to just go to the woods because like I did survive the woods, right?
Right.
So like my childhood fucking sucked, but I survived. So it's like that's now my safe place in some deepness of my soul is like, well, at least if I go there, I know I'll live. So it's hard to live out here when I'm doing well. And there's no like metrics for living. Like
because that's more of an unknown.
I'm
than the
still
other
living
thing.
like
Yeah.
live or die. And it's like I already survived. Like I am alive.
Yeah.
But I still will go into those patterns of feeling like I'm dying or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking do you guys want to fucking get naked and cry together?
I mean,
We should take LSD.
I don't know about crying,
I don't know about crying.
but
Just get naked and get some yogurt.
oh man, I got a lot.
You guys want to get some steaks or something?
We should get some steaks though, for
Get some
real.
steaks. Hell yeah.
That is something we should do. No, and I appreciate you opening up about that though, and everybody here because it is, I don't know, it is hard. It's a journey, and yeah, not being able to identify yourself. It's like someone who isn't on the show anymore was like, well, "You lied to me," and I'm like, "No, I didn't. I said the things that I had to say in that moment for survival because your only thing was rage."
And you were threatening livelihoods.
You're threatening livelihoods, and it's like I will have to lie in a situation that I learned when I was young because I didn't want to be hurt by people that would abuse me, and I didn't want to be in situations where it's like, are you drunk? Are you high? Are you this? You learn to lie because it learns to protect you. Mm-hmm. And it's a shitty thing, but it's the same as anybody's like, I'm honest about everything. You're not. If people walked around and were honest about everything,
right,
you would be told the shittiest stuff all
would be a
day.
dick.
All day, every day.
People would hate you.
That's why the invention of
Yes, they would.
lying is a funny movie because it's based on the fact that everybody's truthful and you're like,
Right.
that sucks. Society doesn't
I know, right?
exist like this, but you have and I try not to do that, but I will find myself and catch myself and end up having to apologize because I hate doing that stuff. But it is part of a survival mode that you learn these negative survival modes that carry into adulthood. And there's so much of it. And, she asked me, what do you think about when you wake up? And I was like, honestly, that I'm not happy that I woke up. And the only thing that I'm happy about is my son.
Yeah.
And that's what gets me out of bed. Otherwise, I don't care. And that's something that's very hard to admit, but it's true.
Yeah.
I can't say I don't wake up and regret. And it's a terrible way to live because I'm not looking at anything that's beautiful around me or things that I have in my life. And I'm not practicing gratitude. And I will have gratitude and I will try to and I get through it. I guess I get through it every day. But I've talked about it on the show and I know people get uncomfortable, so I stopped talking about it. But when you do have those feelings of just emptiness and worthlessness and loneliness that is a death sentence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to talk about it though, because talking about it kind of like cuts the problem in half a little. And I know, like, you know, for a lot of things, maybe not something like that, but also like people hear that and they hear that they're not alone because they feel the same way. And if the people that are like, oh, I'm worried about you, they don't get it, good for them.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I mean, I was adopted.
Right.
And so like my birth mom had just given me up when I was I was born. And so it was, and I was the byproduct of an extramarital affair. So, you know,
Bastard.
so it was right. You're not the first person to call me that, and not in that context either.
But
so,
that's,
that's like something that, you know, when you're, you know, that didn't really occur to me when I was a kid. But it was like that's just the most the most basic thing is that the person who was supposed to love you unconditionally gave you away.
Yeah.
It's a horrible feeling.
Yeah, and that's that was a shit thing to deal with as far as talking to, you know, therapists and stuff like that. But it was, you know, I was very grateful to have some incredible parents that had adopted me, and it, ended up, working out.
No, and that's the beauty of it. You got better parents out of it. But yeah, there's always that part of you that wonders. And I know you went and corrected that in a way. And which is, I think, very amazing to go and try to, and meeting your.
Yeah, I found my birth mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which I thought was incredible.
And I got a great half brother out of it who's fantastic.
And then you have this.
And he never knew. He never knew that she had me because he was little at the time. And he just thought that mom put on weight. And then all of a sudden, yeah. So he's like 4 or 5 years older than me. And so, yeah, he had no idea. And all of a sudden I come, rolling into their life. Yeah. It's like, hey, remember me? Remember this date? So, yeah, crazy stuff.
That can be very, very dark.
So it was, yeah, it really was. I mean, I was very, like I said, grateful to have met my my half brother and grateful to have met my birth mom. But even more grateful to the fact that I got the parents that I ended up having.
Yeah, and I mean, I bring it, we're probably not going to do an end of the world, but I'll just mention it. But I bring it up because I'm trying to think of the guy's name. I apologize to this.
Oh, the guy who
he's an actor, yeah.
Nicky Katt,
who was in Dazed and Confused and Boiler Room and, hung himself.
Yeah.
His landlord found him. And I mean, that's another part of feeling unvalued and not feeling. I mean, there had to be such a loneliness there. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I looked, you look at his IMDb's and a ton of stuff, but it's like there's just this thing where you don't have a value in yourself anymore.
Right.
And I don't know if it's obviously my fault, but it is part of society now where you're so inundated with what's supposedly perfect, and it's also fake, and amounts of money that nobody really has, and this country's never been more in debt because they're dying.
Everyone's just chasing to buy the status symbol.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and
yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
something to make them feel something accepted, part of the tribe.
Yeah,
and no one who likes you gives a shit about the car you drive or the house you live in or
your
money
401k or whatever. Yeah.
None of them.
No.
They might give a shit enough to help you when you're down.
There's a really good book called The Second Mountain.
Okay.
That kind of articulates that, how like life, there's these two mountains. The mountain one is this quest for like wealth and things and look at my house, my car. And mountain two is when you get to the point where you realize that none of that shit matters. And it's about pursuing shit that you love doing. But it's also a privilege to get to mountain two.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people that don't want to stop climbing mountain one until they feel like they've got there.
And that's what's crazy is when I was young, by making movies and doing stuff that I really enjoyed, like when I was a little kid, like I was aware that I had this privilege of being able to do things that other people just couldn't, and I loved it. And it's almost like going back to that where you go, no, I'm capable. This is life. It's this simple. Just do it. Like there's just actions. And I mean, there's more responsibility now, but I've somehow mutated that kid into something where it's like I get paid to do pretty cool shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm not working in a coal mine. I'm not working on I'm lucky. I realize I'm lucky. But then there's the part of it where you're under a microscope. There's part of it where you be in a book that I read was The Courage to Be Disliked, which I highly recommend anybody reads. And it's
I like the title.
Yeah, I like that.
You can't read it?
Well, I just like just the title of it really hit me because it's like I have a deep fear of being disliked. It's a very big issue I have.
You can't be in the public eye though, like you are with that fear.
I know.
Because
I've just gotten lucky.
No, I've been driven into very, very dark places because of it.
Yeah.
And
I just mean, like, I don't care really necessarily what the audience thinks and stuff, but just like people in my orbit.
Oh, I know what
like,
you mean.
I want you to like me. I want you to like me. I want you to like me. Some stranger on the internet, I don't give a fuck. But
yeah,
right. There's a part of it though, but even inside of your inner orbit, and I get that. It's a very fascinating book because it's a kid who's going to a wise man and he's telling him all these different things about life and teaching him, and you kind of read it in these two perspectives. I believe the audiobook has two versions, and one is them having the conversation, but it really is worth the read because I feel that sticks in your head more.
The Courage to be Disliked.
The Courage to be Disliked. And I read it about 10 years ago, and only recently have I started seeing it kind of pop up at airports and stuff, like people are finding it. But I think it's a very important book no matter who you are, because it allows you to go through life with just that realization that not everybody's going to like you.
Yeah.
It's a good spot to put yourself in.
It is.
When you have that I don't give a fuck attitude, it's like, this is who I am. Either you like me or you don't.
Takes a lot of the pressure off and all of the bullshit. You know,
yeah,
like,
it really
I
does. I mean, you know, the ability to shut people out that cause you pain, discomfort, or whatever is huge. I mean, I've done that with family members. No, just people that, you know, when my parents had passed away, just asshole relatives that I'm like, I just don't want anything to do with you anymore. And it was a peace that comes over you when you can just shut somebody out who's been an asshole to you, and you just go, you know what, I don't need to have you in my life. And just surround yourself with people that just you know, you feel good around.
Yeah.
I morphed that with a bad feeling because my parents both died when I was like in my early 20s, and they were both addicted to drugs my whole childhood. So we had already been cut off. And when my mom and dad died, I had this feeling of wanting to prove to them that I was good enough for their love. Right? Like that I wasn't like my mom and my dad. And it was like this journey to get to the point now where it's like, you're so fucking stupid for ever giving a shit what those people thought about you.
Yeah.
That's a hard realization.
Wow. Yeah,
and you should try acid, clearly.
Yeah.
But no, that's I mean, no, that's a very strong revelation. A lot of people die in that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, that's a very strong.
Well, I started seeing it in my whole life. Like, it wasn't just about my aunts and my uncles that I felt like I didn't earn their love. I started seeing it was the way I was at work with my bosses. It was the way I was in relationships with my friends. Like, I just wanted to make sure that I showed everyone that I was good enough for their love. And I'm glad, you know, there's this quote by Steve Jobs, you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backwards, to imply like you are only a sum of your decisions. You can't decide yourself into the future. You right here are just your last 10 decisions. And when I was sitting there and realizing this is my life, I just started like that unraveling of like, fuck these people.
Right.
But from like this vulnerable, I want to just be me. Like, just love me for who I am. And if you don't, are my feelings going to be hurt a little bit? Yeah. But
you move on.
I want to live with Derek. Like, I'm fucking Derek, dude. I don't want to be Derek's version of Derek and Dave's version of Derek and Angela's version of Derek. I just want to be me. Right. And that's why I started saying fuck so much more. No,
it's it feels good. But I think that there's two ways of that to go. You know, like I dated a girl who I love very much, and both her parents had OD'd when she was very young. She lived with her grandparents, and there's two ways that can go. And her death was with a needle in her arm in her early 20s. And it's because you're always trying to justify these people who raised you, and she couldn't talk to anybody. She didn't know, and she wasn't really into drugs, you know, until, I mean, we smoked weed, but she never really did hard stuff. But the way it became the exact way that her parents died, it was this sort of self-fulfilling prophecy where if you don't break the chain, it's just going to eventually kill you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And breaking the chain, and a lot you said with family members, when you break that chain, family members or friends, it's going to piss people off because you're not going in the trajectory that they saw for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I know there's pissed off family members at me.
Of course.
And I'm like, whatever.
I make them buy all my tickets at full price when they come to my shows too. Those motherfuckers.
Pissed off family members.
I'm very that's the part where I'm very lucky is I do have such wonderful family members. I had some that weren't, but the ones who really were there for me. I remember stealing my aunt's cigarettes when I was going through a lot of shit, and she's like, "Hey, you just gonna take one cigarette at a time, or how about you take a pack?" And I was like, "What?" She goes, "I'm aware you smoke. Just take a pack and stop taking one at a time." My open pack. Just being like, "Look, I get it. You're going through some shit. It's fine." Because you assume all these people when you're young haven't smoked weed and snuck out of the house and gone to concert.
Sure.
My one aunt tackled Paul McCartney.
What?
Yeah, she went to a show. She went to the Beatles. She ran up, we call her my cousin Kit. She passed, unfortunately, last year. She ran up, tackled Paul McCartney, and my Uncle Ed, who was working security, goes up and is like, "I got to get this crazy bitch off Paul McCartney," and it's his daughter.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Which is odd because we had the Paul McCartney story. So you know what? I'm going to say this. Thank you all for tuning in. See Derek. See Dave. Good night.